Hello, crafty cuties. Welcome back to Paper Terrace. If you're new, I'm Jessica. Today, I am going to start a fun little series for you, although I think we're just going to keep it one part. I'm not sure, but you'll know as this video is up. And I'm going to take you from start to finish, the whole process of creating a mini little set of tall, skinny journals. And these are wallpaper journals, and all of these are going to be mushroom theme, my favorite theme. And yeah, we're just gonna get started. So the only thing that I do have already is I have the wallpaper picked out and cut down to size for the covers. And these have wallpaper on the inside and then a piece on the outside and inside. Two of these are pre-order journals, and two will be up on my website once they are finished. So if they are available at the time of this video, I will have that linked below. So now that I have these pretty much set to go, I am going to set these aside. I want to get started on the pages, which is the main work, the biggest part of these journals. I have some printables here, and I did want to mention before I forget, these are from Etsy. And they are called, or the shop is called Pixie Dust Files. These are some gorgeous, gorgeous images here, and I am really excited to use these in the journals that I have here. And then I have pages kind of ready to go, and that's what we're going to get started on. I got all of my mushroom ephemera and things out ready to go. So to get started, I'm going to start piling up some paper, some little piles of paper. Each pile has 4 sheets of paper, which is 1 piece per journal. I have 8 pieces total. And then when we fold those in half, that's going to give us 32 pages, which I think is the perfect amount of pages for one of these journals. So you're not going to probably see everything. I'm just showing you the different types of paper. I have scrapbook paper, ledger paper, some really cool like embroidery book magazine paper. Some really cool, it's kind of like craft wrapping paper. It's kind of thin, but I thought that would be fun. And then I have some little treat bags that will fold in half and some mushroom book pages. So the first thing that I am going to do is start cutting down to size. I am going to do certain things off camera, things that are repetitive or kind of boring. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll just get the measurements really quick that I need. And then I'm going to cut everything down to size, and then we can start assembling the signatures. So let's see. These are about 8.5 inches. So I'm gonna cut down 8.25 by 11. So 8.25 by 10.75 is what I'm going to cut all of these papers down. So when I get back, I'll have everything cut down to size. Okay, now that I have my 8 piles of papers that are cut to size, I am just going to now go take 1 piece of paper from each pile. I know that some of these are out of your view, but you'll eventually see everything. And I'm not worried about the order. I'm just going to put them in their piles, and we can finalize the order of the papers later. I just want to have my 4 piles of papers for the signatures. So we'll put this in a pile up where you can't see it, but you get the point. And again, each pile should have 8 pages. Now you'll notice I'm not taking any from the printables. That's because I'm actually going to use those as pockets and as like I'm gonna add the printables on the back sides, and I actually need to go through and kind of see. I don't remember how many I printed, but those are just additional pages. So hopefully that all makes sense. Okay, and for our last pile here. There we go. Okay, now we can go ahead and I'll just take one of the piles here because now I'm going to go through and I am going to figure out which printables will go with each pile. I do also have some tags printed out, but I'm going to save these to the side. I guess I have one more page actually, maybe two. Yep, two more. I'm going to keep the tags off to the side with my little ephemera box there. And I'll actually just go ahead and quickly cut these while we're here. So I printed these printables at 80% because they are a full-size page. I just didn't want them to be too big for these journals to where I was going to have to cut them down anyways. So, okay. Just cut this final one. And then we're gonna get right into page decorating. And I think that I will actually finish decorating the covers at the end. Like I said, right now, I'm not sure if there's gonna be different parts to this series. I guess probably because it would be pretty long if not. So I'm gonna grab, I think 3 printables. Yeah. Per pile. I think that works out perfectly. So I'll just finish dispersing those. And if I need to print out a couple more, I'll just do that off camera so it's not so loud. Oh, nope, that works out perfect. Okay, great. Love when that happens. So I'm going to go through now and fold everything in half. Again, I'm not too worried about the order that these pages are yet. In fact, I might not even finalize that until after I decorate. So if I can kind of give you an idea again about the printables. So I may even have to trim these a bit more, but my thought was that I'm going to fold that in half, actually the other way. And I may either like cut them out and use as pockets, or I was thinking, yeah, something like this. Since I do have scrapbook paper and that's white on the back, the printables will be perfect for covering up some of the white. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fold the rest of those piles off camera. And just to keep everything nice and tidy, I'm also going to just go ahead and place all of the pages within one another just to create our first like rough draft of our signatures. I do have this, now this book page is kind of a smaller one, but I think I am just going to fold it in half. And it'll be kind of a fun little skinny page. I think that will be fun. And then the bag, we'll cut a slit on either the side or top later. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Okay. So I'll just show you how I'm going to place these inside. Just in case, I know a lot of you have seen me do this process many times over the years, but you may be new to my channel or you may just want to see the full process. So then I'm just going to take that bundle, stick it on the inside here, just so I have everything nice and tidy, and then I work with each of the book pages one by one. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and continue that with the other 3, and I'll see you back here after I finish that. But now I have my 4 journals with their papers, and probably moving forward, I'm just going to show you the process for one of the journals, and then I'll do the other 3 off camera, unless there's some kind of assembly line style that I want to do for some of these, which there may be, but just to give you a good idea of what to expect. So I'm going to sit down, and I'm really hoping that you can see well enough, but we are at the sewing machine because one thing that I like to do when I am starting a journal, and if I just am kind of at a blank spot in my head and I'm not sure where to start, I will always start with lace. So I'm going to start with the biggest pages, the more full-size pages, and I'm just going to set these little ones to the side. And what I'm going to get started with, I know that I want a lot of lace on these, so I am just going to, I have some assorted laces. I'm going to cut down lace that will be just as tall as my pages, and I'm just going to do a few, and then I'm going to get started with sewing lace onto the edges of the pages. And for some reason, for me, as I'm doing that, I usually get ideas for how I want to decorate each page. And the other thing that I'm doing, since I am making a small collection of these journals, I'm going to work on this one set here. I'm going to fully decorate it, and then I'm going to use this as kind of a template for how to decorate the other three. Not to say that all three are going to be exactly alike, because they are not, but I'm using that template as kind of a starting point, and that's really why I like to work on collections, because I come up with these ideas that I like, and I love being able to recreate that, but make it look a little bit different for each one. Okay, I have some really thick lace, and I will probably use this for a pocket, so I'm not going to cut this yet because I don't know if I want it to be a full side pocket or maybe a smaller one, so I'll wait on that. But this rickrack I thought would be kind of fun. And then I definitely think that this leaf twine is super fun in almost any kind of journal, really. Okay, and I'll probably need to cut down some extra lace, but we'll just get started. Actually, I am going to cut down just a couple more because it is a little bit easier if I just have them cut down. And if I don't use it all on this one, I'll use it on the next three. And I'm using a ton of actual vintage lace for these journals, so I am really excited to get some good use out of it. All right, now since this is going to get loud, I won't film the whole process, but let me just show you what I do here. I'll just start with one of the pages, and I really am hoping that you can see majority of what I'm doing. And I'm just gonna sew this onto the sides. I'm not really worried about what I'm doing as far as decorations go, but there are times that I'll stop in between sewing to decorate a page while I'm at the sewing machine. And I just kind of go with it. So I don't always have one way that I do this, but I have one way that I get started with it. Okay, and I'm just going to do a zigzag stitch. And I like to go ahead and sew lace onto both sides because then in a way I feel like I got 2 pages done out of the way, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And if you don't have a sewing machine, you can glue lace on. So, like I said, sometimes I'll get ideas as I'm going. Whoops, sorry about that. And I already have an idea. Just seeing this white already gives me ideas. So I told you I put the smaller pages aside because I knew that I would probably want to use them as I was going along. And I'm going to go ahead and grab one of these printables, and I think I already just off the bat want to go ahead and sew that on. And I think that I also want, ooh, this rickrack would actually be perfect sewn across. So I'm going to do that. I also think that I'm going to take some sari ribbon and trim that down. So I definitely feel this is not how I always make journals, but sometimes when I'm working on a smaller batch, it is, and it works. It is kind of all over the place, so it can be hard to film and show someone else, but I have been wanting to show you. I wanted to sew the sari ribbon on first because it does kind of fold over, and then now I may end up adding some ink or stenciling or washi tape, but those types of little details I usually save for the end when I am kind of finalizing or finishing off any detailed embellishing. So for now, we're just kind of worried about the bigger picture embellishing. All right, so now that we've sewed a pocket on, I can go ahead and fold this over. And then I'm just going to I'm going to set this aside when I'm done. I'll stick it inside like that, and then I move along. Sometimes with these thinner pages, sometimes I will, just want to make sure we're still recording, just not do too much to the decoration part of it, but I do sometimes like to sew on some lace still, or perhaps a tab. Okay, so I'm going to use this leaf trim. Have to be pretty careful with this paper. And then I am going to take a little piece of the bigger lace that I have here, and on this other side I'm going to fold it over and make a little tab, and that's probably all I will do to this paper, although I did just get an idea, which was, I do like all my pages to be functional for journaling, and you can totally do journaling on this, but I think I have some clear photo adhesive photo pockets maybe, and that would be fun. So I only have these really large ones from Target, but I can make that work. It's a long one, so I think, let's see, how does it go? I'm just gonna go ahead and, ooh, since we have a really long piece to work with, that might be kind of fun to do like a pretty long pocket. Why not? And this might be cutting it close, the size, but I think I can make that work. Oh yeah, I can. So done with that. I'm going to set that over in the journal and drop some lace. So I'm just going to get back to sewing lace on this side. Now, this is going to be pretty repetitive for the next few. I am probably going to be working on some decorations, but I think what I'm going to do is stop here and continue decorating for a couple more pages, and then I'll come back and show you the decorations I've come up with. I have come to a page where I actually want to do a decoration that is kind of like a removable pocket. Well, I'm going to add it here. Basically, all I'm getting at is a lot of the times I will save any kind of inking or adding stamps, embellishments. I'll save that till later on when I'm doing like my final embellishing. But if I am creating like a removable pocket or some kind of embellishment that I'm making like not directly onto the page, I will completely decorate it here like this. So I thought I would just come on and show that to you. And I'm just kind of finalizing. Basically, I took 2 envelopes and ripped off the edges. So I need to do the inking now, basically because it's going to be much easier than if I were to try to do it once I already have it attached to the page. And then you'll see, or I'll mention now, that when I get to the point of making the next 3 journals, this is something where I would go ahead and create 3 more of these just on their own so that they're ready and can just be added into the journal. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue here to make sure that these pockets are completely glued shut. And I know that I'm going to add, I have this little mushroom stamp, and I thought that would be cute to have that stamped kind of on the top here like that. And then I'm going to add some lace and a little mushroom embellishment because I do want this journal to be super mushroom theme, obviously. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and sew this together. That's okay. I sewed that kind of wonky, but that will be okay. Yep. Then, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and attach this down to the page now. So I just wanted to come in to show you that. I'm going to finish the last 2 page decorations and then I'll show you what I've come up with. So we are back to the table. I have all of the lace sewn on and some of the decorations finished. I also wait till the end to add any tags or put anything in the pockets, but I'll show you what I've got here. So I did sew on some lace tabs. I made this little pocket right here. You saw this one, so that's attached now. And I did leave blank space, but I have majority of the sewing done. I made these little corner pockets. And then I think this was the last one. So this is a nice big lace pocket. And then over here, I made this fun little kind of scrappy notepad. And I sewed it on. And then remember, I might add any embellishments or stamping, inking at the end. So I'm going to go ahead now and place these in here. Just kind of in a random order for now. Oh yes, and I took this glassine bag, or it's a little treat bag, and I did sew on this as well, and then I have, it's a top loading pocket. And I may add some inking or something over to this side one. I just wasn't sure what to do yet for that. So I'm just gonna place these all in. And then I have this cut apart left, which I'll use somehow, probably. Cool, so now this journal is on its way to being done, even though I still have quite a few steps left. So what I like to do next, since I do have 3 more journals now that I need to do the same thing with, is I'm going to go through and see if there's anything that I really love that I definitely want to recreate again, not exactly, But for instance, like I like to work on the removable stuff. So these pockets it would be easy for me to go ahead now and create 3 of these just on their own, and then they'll be ready to go into the next journal. So I'm going to do that. That's probably, for this journal, that might be the only, I really like these side pockets, so actually I'll go ahead and cut those down. Again, I'm going to add some decorations to these later. Actually, for now, I'll just go ahead and fold this down a bit. Add this cute little, I can turn this into a tag or something like that later, but just so it won't fall out. So I'm going to make the corner pockets, the envelope pocket, and that's probably it for now. So to finish off this first part of the video, I just wanted to show you what I did to prepare for the next 3 journals so that I can get started and finish those pages. So I did go ahead and in my like mass making assembly line style, I made 3 of these pockets that I really liked. So one will go with each. So those are just already done. That's going to help my process of finishing the next 3 journals, you know, be a little bit easier. I also really liked the double pockets that have the 2 corner pockets. So I just cut down the papers that I needed for that. So I will have those all in their journals. I also went ahead and did pre-decorate the treat bag. I did some inking and stamping, added some lace. So each one will get one of these. You can see they're all a little bit different. And again, in my final embellishing, I'm probably still going to add some little details to certain parts of these. And then I also went ahead and I just sewed on some lace to these, which will get then sewn onto one of the bigger pages to create pockets, but we have like that part out of the way. So now all I'm going to do off camera is I am going to do the same thing that you just saw me do for decorating the first one, sewing on the lace, adding decorations. So I will continue that on with these 3. And then in the next part of this series, you will see me either work on the covers or do the final embellishing. Again, I'm not sure if I'll have to do that all together or in parts, but I hope that you enjoyed the first part of this series, and I will see you very soon. Have a lovely day. Bye, guys.